Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over the 1.3 characters and why you may possibly want to save for them instead of Kafka or Blade. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Hoyoverse recently revealed a new Dan Heng variant from what it looks like, which by the way, he looks super cool. Fu Xuan and Lynx, who is a 4-star quantum character. These characters are likely going to be the 1.3 characters as they have a tendency to show off the characters who will be coming in the upcoming patches, such as what they did for Blade and Kafka. And while not much is known regarding these characters, we do know their paths and elements, which is imaginary destruction for Dan Heng, quantum preservation for Fu Xuan, and quantum healer for Lynx. This opens up the doors for more quantum and imaginary characters in our roster. Dan Heng being imaginary destruction is very nice as we do get a free Yukong in 1.2, and she's able to buff allies crit damage, attack, and even imaginary damage through her traces, which means she can possibly be a very good partner for the new Dan Heng that's coming out. Personally, I've experienced really good things with Yukong, so I would highly recommend building her once we do get her for free, and I will be using both of these characters together to test their potential. But it may also mean that mono imaginary can be possible as well, with Welt as a debuffer, Luocha as a healer for utility as well, and Yukong for the buffs, and Dan Heng possibly being a good damage dealer as well. Most destruction class characters I have seen have the potential to do really good damage when they're invested into, such as Clara, Arlen, Hook, and so on. Blade will likely be no exception to this rule either and will likely be very powerful as well with the right synergies. As for Fu Xuan and Lynx, this opens up the doors for mono quantum and also having more sustain options for your team and for your account. Fu Xuan is a preservation class character which can be helpful for increasing the defensive capabilities of your team and gives another option other than Japard and March 7th and Fire MC in a different element, which is now Quantum. Lynx is a 4-star, which is great as now we have more healer options that will likely be more accessible for free to play. As for free to play, currently only have Natasha as a free healer, the two other healers being Bailu and Luocha, but both of these are 5 stars. So Lynx being a 4-star can open the doors for more sustain on your team comps, or a second healer for Memory of Chaos. Overall though, I think these 3 characters look very good and are possibly really good options once we have more information on them. It just comes down to honestly what they do and how their playstyles may differ from current characters, because it seems like most destruction class characters do something pretty different from one another. Clara is a character who heavily revolves around her counterattacks and of course taunting. Arlen focuses on sacrificing health, kind of similarly to Blade, but I'm sure those two will probably have differences in skill kit to differentiate them. Hook heavily focuses on burning the enemy, so it kind of just makes me wonder what Dan Heng will be able to bring to the table, but I do personally like destruction class characters a lot, since they are pretty unique in what they provide, depending on what character we're looking at and just overall their skill kits. So I am really excited to see what he's able to do as a character. Additionally, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit the subscribe button and now let's carry on. As for Kafka and Blade, they will likely be good damage dealers as well. Kafka is centered around damage over time detonation, which creates a new playstyle involved heavily around damage over time, while Blade sacrifices health, has follow-up attacks, and so on. He's also a wind destruction class character, which can be very useful as we do have limited wind characters as for right now, which can also up his value for players who aren't too keen on using Dan Heng, Sampo, or sometimes I like to call him Shampoo, and so on. Speaking of Sampo though, he will likely be a great character to invest into once Kafka is here, as he increases damage over time. Damage kind of sounds weird saying that, but whatever. He is also able to inflict wind shear quite often on enemies, which is really good as that is a form of damage over time, and overall can highly take advantage of the damage over time playstyle that Kafka is likely suited for. Overall though, it just comes down to which characters you like the most and are looking to play the most that may benefit your account. Kafka seems to bring a new playstyle, or even rather an enhanced playstyle with damage over time that can make more characters more relevant on team comps, such as Sampo, maybe Himiko and Hook, Serval, and so on. and Blade seems to have a risky playstyle that I would assume is high risk, high reward, which he will likely pair very well with characters that are able to support his HP draining skill kit. While the other three are unknown, as mentioned prior, as to what they do, but the new Dan Heng can possibly open doors for Mono Imaginary, and I do feel like Yukong once again will be a very incredible partner for him, and Fu Xuan and Lynx will also add a lot of sustain to your account. So if you do plan to skip Luocha or haven't gotten him, these two characters might be very useful to possibly look into pulling depending on what they do once we have more information on them, which once we do have more information on these characters, I will give an in-depth analysis on what I think about them and also share my thoughts. I will also be going over Kafka and Blade more in depth once we get the live stream this weekend and go over my thoughts on their value, possible team comps for pre-release, possibly things you could maybe prepare for, and once they're here, I will also give a post-release analysis and release my guides on them. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned for those videos coming soon. If you did enjoy this video though, make sure to subscribe to see more style content from me, leave a like on the video to support the video of course, and lastly, leave a comment below. Which of these characters do you want the most in these upcoming updates? For me personally, it is likely Kafka, Fu Xuan, and possibly even Lynx. I really like the designs of these characters and really wonder how their playstyles will be once they're here. Makes me wonder how Kafka will operate, and I'm really excited to test out this new sort of playstyle, if you will, and just see the potential that she has overall as a character. So I cannot wait to be able to play with her and do all of that good stuff as well. Of course, though, I hope all of you have a nice one. Peace.